What's going on, everybody? You know who it is. This is Austin, and this is the Austin Smith Real Estate Podcast, where we talk about real estate and we talk about lifestyle. Today's guest, the topic of discussion is meditation, and it's something that I practice, and it's something that, at least in regards to today's episode, using meditation to obtain your business goals, obtain your real estate goals. And, we dig in specifically about how to remove any limiting beliefs that's either stopping you from either, making the move to real estate, investing in real estate, any limiting belief that's stopping you, and how to change your mindset when it comes down to identifying a goal and then having that goal become reality. Bear with me. We really start to dig into the meat of the content around, I would say, about 12 minutes or so. But it is definitely well worth the listen. A little bit of housekeeping before we get started. If you or anybody that you know has benefited by listening to the Austin Smith Real Estate Podcast, please go onto iTunes, leave me a rating and review. Let's continue to share this message. And if you or anybody that you know can benefit by coming on to the the Austin Smith Real Estate Podcast, please let me know. Let's get him or her on the show as we continue to share the message. Without further ado, let's get into the show. Today on the show, and it's interesting because we usually bring on guests that are either talking about real estate, how to build your business, but one of the main reasons why I like to bring on special guests that talk about the lifestyle aspect of it or the personal development aspect of it is because I feel like that is such a crucial piece in any type of success, no matter financially, spiritually, relationally, like all the factors are tied into some of the other guests that I love to bring on the show. And the main reason why I wanted to bring this guest on the show is because she travels all around the world, has retreats all around the world. She's the president and CEO of Afro Yoga International LLC. She she has led over 1,000 yoga sessions year to date, and I'm pretty sure that that's growing because we're going to be talking about some of her retreats that are coming up. She's helped thousands of clients just find their center and develop more awareness, spiritually as they go through what this is called life. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Alicia Stephenson. Alicia, thank you for taking the time to come on the show.
Thank you so much. And I want to just add in there, I recently got married. So for those of you guys who might have had me in classes, my maiden name is Dugar. So it's Alicia Dugar Stephenson. Just want to throw that in there. Recently married.
Congratulations on that. Yeah, we're
Thank you.
Me and my fiance are currently going through wedding planning, and I'm being groomzilla, but that's another story. So let's jump into this because I really want to cover just yoga, meditation specifically, but the combination of yoga and meditation. I think it's so important because the most successful people on this planet practice some form of meditation. And I think it's so important spiritually wise. And I think that is a key ingredient that most individuals miss as they try to become successful in their career, in their business endeavors. But let's dig into how you got started. Give me the woman behind the machine. Peel back the curtain. How did you get started?
Okay. Well, thank you for having me on the show. What really got me started was my health. Like, honestly, before I got diagnosed with lupus, which is an autoimmune disorder that affects my joints and luckily doesn't affect my organs, but some people can die from it. That was my wake up call. I was living a life of just going through the motions and doing what other people told me I should do or recommended or what my parents thought I should do. I was just really just in life without really enjoying what I was doing. So my lupus really woke me up because I was feeling chronic pain. And it was like, not only was I doing things I didn't enjoy, but I was in pain the entire time. So for me, I finally found yoga, and it was like the first time in my life that I got to focus on feeling good. And after that first class, I mean, I literally walked in the door, and I think might have been audible, but it was like I walked in and it was immediately like, oh yes, I knew I was exactly where I needed to be. And I kept practicing and practicing. And I used to be called the bitch in my family. Like, I was the person that would let things build up. I wouldn't speak up for myself. So if something happened that I didn't like, I would just hold on to it until I couldn't take it anymore. And I would just explode over whoever had that last straw. And that was one of the first things that my family noticed, was that I was able to speak up for myself. I was able to, communicate more effectively, and I was no longer the bitch. For me, it was that recognition from my family, like, you must be doing something different, that I started to realize that this was going to really change my life. So I kept going. I've been doing trainings. I'm actually finishing up my advanced teacher training because I love to learn, and I feel like every opportunity gives me a chance to grow. So that's me. I'm a teacher, but I'm still a student. Like, I love to go deeper into my practice, and you'll most likely see me at trainings all over the world, becoming a better version of myself.
And now you've been able to develop a business teaching yoga, teaching meditation that allows you to travel all over the world, which I love that aspect because that that's the main reason why I got into real estate, to be able to travel wherever I wanted, to be able to work from wherever, not being pinned down to one place. And, me experiencing that is, obviously an awesome feeling. But the main reason why I wanted to bring you on the show is because, well, one, we talk about real estate and we talk about lifestyle, because I think it's extremely important. And I think that, individuals miss out on that so much, and they get put into positions that they don't want to be in. And the other reason is because I am a firm believer of meditation. I practice meditation daily. Um, it's part of my Miracle Morning. That's my plug for the book of Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. And you have the combination of both of those aspects. So you have two retreats that are coming up, actually. Can you talk about that really quickly?
Yes, I can. I am really excited. I actually am developing my entire schedule for 2019 and 2020. The nearest one is the Salt Air and Serenity Wellness Retreat in Galveston. This is a unique experience because, in my experience, yoga is like learning a language. You're communicating with yourself and with your environment through each pose, and then you take it off of the mat, and then you do it in your life and in your business. So this weekend is designed with results in mind. So this is all about the business person, busy schedule, hectic lifestyle. You come and you, over the course of the yoga, the art, and the guided self-reflection, by the end of the weekend, you will have identified at least one area in your life where you self-sabotage. And you will have a plan and a smart plan and action steps so that you can create the life that you want. So you will live your best life based on this plan that you create. So we'll do vision and goals, and it will be all tied to your wellness and taking what we did into your life. That is in October. It's the last week in October, and registration is open until October 19th. That is afroyoga.ticketleap.com. So I'm really excited. I'm looking to have a small, intimate group. It'll be a great time. I have a full staff that will be in-house, including a masseuse, an acupuncturist. We'll start the day with fresh smoothies and smoothie bowls. We'll have snacks all day. I mean, it'll just be a really building up of yourself, body and spirit and mind, connecting all those things together. In February, I have a couples retreat. It'll be more of lifesaver style. That means that we will do more of warrior style yoga. So how to bring in and connect all the parts of you so that you are safe in this life. So we will have my husband, he's a Harris County deputy sheriff. He will be there. We'll be working together, going through how to defend yourself. So we'll go from physical self-defense, and then we'll do that in yoga, how to defend your energy. So like when we have energy suckers around us, how to protect yourself from those people and create boundaries. So that's really exciting. And then in May of 2020, I have a retreat in Costa Rica. And the details for that one are still getting worked out. But that one will be amazing because that retreat center has often been referred to as the most beautiful retreat center in the whole world. So it's right in the middle of a huge, gorgeous mountain and jungle area, and then right next to a beach. So you get a little bit of all of the amazing parts of nature. So that's what I'm looking forward to, my big highlights for my upcoming retreat schedule.
Me and my fiance are gonna have to check this out. Hopefully, we can make it down there. We've been dying to go to Texas at some point in the future, and hopefully, it's sooner rather than later.
Well, you and your fiance are definitely invited. You will definitely have an amazing time. All of my clients that have gone on retreats with me say that they did not realize how much they were going to get out of it. Like, I have a passion of over delivering. My purpose in life is to create a safe space so that you can have your own self transformation. So I do that with a passion, and you will definitely walk away with action plan for your life to live your best life.
I love it. Love it. So let's dive into this. Let's get into the meat of this. Now, meditation, for me at least, has been so game changing. And I've seen the effects that it's had for others. And it's usually, it's night and day. But most people won't do this. So can you elaborate? Because most individuals will think meditation is like the, hum like that. And it's, they have a negative connotation about it. Can you just, we'll get into yoga, but can you just kind of dissect exactly what meditation actually is?
Of course. So this is a question I get asked a lot. Yoga means union. So when you translate it from the ancient language of Sanskrit, in English, it translates to union. And this union is between all parts of yourself. So that means that's between like your mind, all the subtle bodies, your energy, your focus, like everything, the physical body, it brings it all together. And apart, so this is one branch of yoga, is meditation. And so when people say yoga and meditation, they're really saying the same thing. However, when you get into yoga, it's more known in our culture as the physical aspect. So the physical moving of the body, or the asana, where you're doing the poses and you're really working towards that physical connection with self. Meditation takes in a different aspect that is not always including strictly the physical in it. So it can be more of like laying down, where you're cutting off the senses. And then when you're doing asana, it's more of engaging in that way. Meditation is a way to draw in. It can be very powerful because I don't know if you are like me. When I was young, I was good at everything. Like, I was in the orchestra, I played an instrument, I, was working on a language, and I was a cheerleader, and I did so many different things that I oftentimes would feel like I was scattered and I couldn't really focus and be my best at one particular or two particular things because I was so busy doing everything. And we can do that in our business. We can do that in our personal lives, where we're focused on so many things that we can't quite hone in and focus our attention on something that we can really grow. Meditation allows you to do that by just starting with the breath, starting with the awareness, and bringing it back into focus to wherever we want to direct it. And that in my opinion, is what's most powerful about it, is that no matter what, even if you're scatterbrained, you don't have to be sitting with your eyes closed in a full lotus with your legs crossed up behind your ears and doing all kind of crazy stuff to meditate. It can just be by feeling your body taking a deep breath in and out of your nose or in and out of your mouth. And meditation can look very different. It can be walking and looking at the green in the trees and the grass, or looking at the trees blowing in the wind. Like focusing in and being there in that moment is a meditation just like anything else.
It's interesting that you said it because the uh, when I'm like driving, and what meditation has taught me exactly what you said, like focusing on what's in front of you right now, because our brain goes completely haywire. And whatever it's thinking about at that point in time, you're going to feel exactly that, no matter what thought it is. And meditation has helped me focus on what's happening right in front of me. And what I realized, at least while driving, and this can happen like when you're in a, when you're in an area that you're totally familiar with, like you've been up and down this road a million and one times, when you actually focus and are present with driving on that road, you'll feel the sensation and awareness as if you are traveling in a new state. Does that make sense? Like you know how you're in a new location and you're or like if you're traveling on vacation and you've landed and now you're riding through the city and you have this heightened awareness of everything that's around you.
Exactly. I totally agree. And that's the same thing for your body. So we live in this body, we've been in this body since we were born. And sometimes we're looking for ways to distract ourselves. We're looking on our phones and we're watching Netflix and not that those things are good or bad. It's just that that's our city. We've used to this. We've done this before. When you meditate and you practice yoga, you get to pay attention to it in a way that it's kind of like being in a new place. You get to feel what it's like to take a deep breath. You get to feel your heart beating, or you get to feel the temperature of the air around you. And that's what's so amazing about it.
A lot of the business books that I read from, these serial entrepreneurs and not even like entrepreneurs like, the major tech billionaires. I'm talking about individuals that have just been able to create the lifestyle that they truly want. And a big portion of that stems around meditation. Like, how can meditation, help you thrive in business and in life?
That is such a good question because I've actually been working through this a lot recently. You get to notice your patterns. There, my husband and I were talking recently about insanity. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Well, I also think insanity can be doing the same thing over and over and not being aware of it. So when you practice yoga in your business, you get to see areas in your business where you need a little more connection. Or, for example, if there's a place in your business that may not be growing like you would want it to grow, you get to focus your attention on that area. Because wherever you focus your attention, like you manifest power. So whenever I decided that, okay, I'm going to focus on teaching in a way that I transmit all of the amazing things that I learn onto my students, the day that I decided that for myself, students started to experience that change just by me shifting my energy. So when whatever business you're in, if you're in real estate or if you're selling products, whenever you make an energetic choice to focus on one area of your business and grow that area, your energy onto that will change it in a drastic way.
I, it's interesting because, I'm starting to plan for 2019 and, there are certain times where I do feel like my particular strategies might be all over the place and I need to work on narrowing down and giving things focus like that. What would you say, like, planning wise, or like even manifesting something? Because I want you to unpack that a little bit more because that was gold. Even manifesting something, like okay, I want to have this particular desired lifestyle, or I want to achieve this particular goal. How does how impactful is meditation and practicing yoga on obtaining whatever one's goals are?
That is such a good question. So I have a couple different pieces to that answer. And when I go into something, I get like really excited. So you might have to remind me of the question. So
No,
just a heads
no
up.
problem, no problem. I'm trying to make it easier because I'm thinking about, and like my mind's going at a million miles an hour because what I'm getting from you is awesome. How can in the manifestation phase or turning what's in your head into reality, writing goals down, putting goals on paper, how impactful is meditation to obtaining your goals and being able to focus and obtain those goals?
Okay. So, in fact, we are always manifesting. So, one of the biggest things about people who are around me is that I don't let them talk negatively around me. Like, I filter out my environment because our words are powerful. For example, if you have a pain, I'm very familiar with pain, so for me that just makes the most sense to use that as an analogy. When you have pain in an area and you immediately say, "Oh, my bad knees," like you're speaking that onto your knees. Or if you say in your business, "Oh, I'm really bad at this," you're speaking that into your business. Or, I mean, and it works the other way as well. I really love my hair. I have such amazing hair. I'm speaking that, and then I take good care of my hair. Like those types of things. You are always manifesting. When you are in this rat race, so like I said, you can get disconnected from experiencing your body and your life because you're always doing it. It's the road that you are most familiar with. You just drive on the road, and by the time you're at the end of it, you don't even remember the drive. That happens to me when I commute sometimes. I'm already at my location. I'm like, whoa, how did I get here? Because I'm in autopilot. So to work past that, you meditate by focusing in on the moment. It is easy to get caught up in the small details and sending that next email or scheduling something in your calendar or doing the quote unquote mundane task or the chores of your business. When you let go of all of that, when you let go of the responsibility of whatever you have placed on your shoulders, on your to-do list, and you just take a moment to enjoy being in your skin, to enjoy taking a deep breath, to enjoy placing your feet flat on the floor because you feel more stable, or to sit straight up along your spine because you feel more connected to your body. When you do those things in your meditation, you get the opportunity to experience and to refocus. And then you see that in your business, you do the same thing. When you get into those mundane, those that routine that you have, you get a chance to say, okay, let me refocus. Let me take a deep breath and come back to my desired goal. And that will change the way that you live your life and the way that you operate your business.
I love it because you brought up an interesting point because I say all the time, and I'm actually one that'll watch, what they say, as far as the words, because I'm a firm believer of that. Where I don't have that discipline is when I say I'm terrible with paperwork. And for, my business, I'm strong at closing deals, marketing, things like that. I'm extremely strong at leadership, influence, all of it. I'm terrible with paperwork. And the more that I've said that, my paperwork has gotten worse and worse and worse. And it's like and it's not like, the legal aspect of it. It's just, having all my ducks in a row. So yes, you're absolutely right by speaking on, and manifesting exactly what you speak about. One other thing I definitely wanted to ask you for the audience, the only a big portion of why individuals from don't go from where they are to where they want to go is due to some of their limiting beliefs. And sometimes when I speak to a couple of life coaches and they ask me, okay, it's like, well, what do you want? And I'm like, I want to do, for example, I'll give you a real estate goal. I want to do 30 transactions. And then like, okay, well now what are you going to do to do that? And I start explaining all these things. And by the end of the conversation, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to do that. How can meditation help an individual remove the any type of limiting beliefs so that when they write their goal on paper, they can trust the process while that manifestation is happening?
Okay, so this is the question. This is the big question here. And the answer is that when you meditate, you get to realize that your thoughts are not you. So you may hear something go by and immediately take you to a time in your life where you might have heard a similar sound, or you will identify that as being, a car going by outside or whatever. You identify that. When you feel something, you notice the sensation and the sensory input that comes into your body. I like to use yoga for this as well, because when I'm on the mat and I feel like I'm going into a quote unquote challenging pose, then I get to also become aware of the thoughts that come up around that. Do I immediately tell myself that it's too hard? Or am I comparing myself to the other people in the class? Or whatever comes up for me. So yoga and meditation help you to identify that you are not your thoughts. You may be feeling like the thoughts of doubt coming towards you, but that doesn't mean you're not good enough. You may feel like, something is going to be challenging, so your body starts bracing for the challenge, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to accomplish it. Like all of those things start to come into your awareness, and you get to say, I am not that person that's not enough. There's just a thought that's here that came. And then you let that thought leave you and you continue about your work towards your goal.
Oh man, I wish I didn't have to jam this into, and I'll admit I'm being a little selfish because the I'm asking these questions for the audience, and it's also questions that I want to know as well. And I'm upset that I have to contain like the bulk of the content within a nice, reasonable range for my audience. But
That's okay.
this is absolute gold only because the the whole thing with success in anything, the major six areas of life, it all starts with mindset. Like it all starts with mindset. And I feel like meditation is such a huge proponent or a component of your psyche and knowing that, okay, whatever, if I have an idea in my head, I can make it appear in reality. And the only thing that I have to do is last in between the time where I've thought of that idea and the manifestation period, all in between. Because what we can't see, we can't believe. And us as humans, we need to see it, quote unquote, in order to believe it. And the whole belief in the faith process comes in between when you can't see it. And I just believe that meditation helps you get through that particular phase and that particular process.
Oh, yes. And there's also such thing as visualization, which a lot of professional athletes and a lot of billionaires practice as a part of their meditation. They visualize their specific goal and see themselves doing it. This is something that we will definitely be focusing on at the retreat, especially since we have such a short period of time together. We'll only have a weekend to make a lot of change happen. So we'll be doing a lot of visualization of us making that change and letting go of the self-sabotage.
Love it. And I used to do affirmations. But affirmations are different. But a lot of people think affirmations are just going in front of the mirror and they're just like, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. Like it doesn't work necessarily like that. You know what I mean? Like it has to be an affirmation that you can actually back up by fact, because then that helps you cement in your mind, okay, if the thing is I am happy, then you have to go do something, or you have to tell your brain why, or go do something that'll change your state in order for you to be, at the end of the day, say I'm happy, and I'm happy because of X, Y, and Z. And then you'll be able to feel those emotions, which further cement that ideology in your head. And I hope my guests are going to be able to get it, and it doesn't go over their head, because like I study, subconscious and conscious brain. Like I study habits and emotional sensory, and how that connects to how you act about certain things, and it's crazy. But for someone who is a beginner, right? For someone who has maybe seen the impact of meditation and yoga in a book from other successful individuals, when they see it health wise, and then maybe for an individual that's new, what are kind of like the first steps so they can get over their own limiting beliefs about what meditation is? What are the first steps that they can do to start transforming their life?
Okay, well, that brings up a point that I want to touch on. That there are three types of yogis, and a yogi is a student of yoga. So there are three types of yogis. There's a beginner, there's an intermediate, and then there's advanced. A beginner is someone who doesn't know they're not familiar with it. They're going in with the beginner's mind. So they listen, they apply, and they give it their effort and their energy, their focus. There's an intermediate yogi. That's the person who's been practicing for several number of years. They think that, they have it all figured out, and that they're working it. They got this. They're the intermediate. There's an advanced person who has a beginner's mind and comes in and listens and applies and puts their energy towards it. And that happens to be a quite good way to explain that a beginner is someone you don't have to be, sitting there and getting a mantra going. You just find a teacher or a guided meditation on a podcast, or read a meditation and then just apply it on yourself. You can do it however you like. Come at the meditation with a beginner's mind. So like you're coming into that new city, that new place. You're looking around, you're seeing what you experience from your environment. All of the input that's coming in through your brain and through all of your other senses that you have, and just experience it and enjoy it. So that's what I would recommend for beginners, because that is what's going to change you from a beginner to advanced, instead of being that intermediate where you might think that you know all the things, and that then you check out and you're not experiencing it anymore.
Great, great. Before we even, before we start our descent, and I ask you the core four, what, why don't more people practice meditation and yoga just to get more aware of themselves? Like, why do you think that?
Well, our culture is one that does not encourage that. So our culture is one of consumption and not of awareness. We've been taught to look outside of ourselves for our entertainment and our enjoyment and our approval and all of the things that you might have experienced with, and the reason why you got into meditation. We look for those outside of ourselves as a part of our culture. So taking the time and doing meditation, first of all, is actually growing in popularity. So now it's kind of cool.
Yes,
but it's something that seems like it seems like a chore, like, oh, I got to do meditation. And instead of an opportunity to experience. So that's what I feel like, and what I've observed in my students. And, when people say, oh, I really got to get to yoga, but then they never come, it's kind of like they're doing it for, I don't know if they want to please me, or they want to, whatever their motive is, it's not for them.
So
when you do it for you, when you do it for your family, when you do it to change your life, to change your health, to no longer self-sabotage, then you'll start to experience it and it can change your life and you live your best life.
It is a lifestyle change, and it becomes you. It is a habit. It becomes your character. Like that is becomes you. Absolutely. Okay, awesome. The core four, which are the four questions that I ask each and every guest on the Austin Smith Real Estate Podcast. Question number one. What is your favorite aspect? Usually it's real estate, but what is your favorite aspect about yoga and meditation?
My favorite thing is that there's no competition. I grew up a people pleaser, always looking for approval and, people to acknowledge me and tell me that I was this or that. And in yoga, I don't have to do that. I get to just be me. And on days where my lupus has me feeling really tired and fatigued, I can just take it easy. On days where I'm feeling really strong, I may do some more powerful things and really connect to my inner strength. So I really like that aspect of it.
Awesome. Second question. Favorite business or personal development book?
Ooh, I would have to say anything by Judith and Odia. I personally love her book on the chakras, and that one is called The Wheels of Life. It is a must read if you are looking to learn more about how the physical and the energetic realms interact in our physical bodies and our energetic bodies.
Okay, I'm gonna have to write that one down. What's it called again?
Wheels of Life.
Wheels of Life. Okay, awesome. Question number three. What are the fun things that you like to do in your spare time?
I am a true Texas girl. So, like, even my husband and I had our first date. It was at a gun range. Like, I like to shoot guns. I like to practice self-defense. And I'm really big. Like, you'll most likely see me if I'm not doing yoga or playing with my gorgeous pit bull. Then you'll see me at the gun range with my husband.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Me and my fiance, we went to the gun range once, and it was nothing but an awesome experience. That's awesome. Question number four, last and not least. Alicia, where can people find you at?
I am really a fan of Instagram because it allows for connection through pictures and through stories and all of that. So I use Instagram. I'm on there several times a day, and I found that it really allows me ease of connection. Like I can put something out and it can reach a lot of people all over the world. So that is my favorite way to connect. And I'm Afro Yoga on Instagram. And you'll see me that big afro that pops up, that's me. And that's my favorite way. And if people want to contact me for like personal growth and connection or private classes or retreats for their company or for themselves, I usually work through email or through Instagram message. So my email is theafroyoga, TheAfroyoga @gmail.
Awesome. Alicia, I can't stress enough. I hope this was absolute gold. I hope the audience was able to take from it and start taking some actionable steps. It is really, for everyone listening, mindset health is probably one of the most overlooked human basic need that, like I said, is just often missed. Don't don't let it fall by the wayside. Be sure to check up on your mental health. Alicia, thank you so much for coming onto the show. I greatly appreciate that.
Thank you so much for having me. When you introduced me, I was like, wow, I sound kind of awesome. I'm like, who's that?
The resume is extremely impressive. The resume is extremely impressive. And, just the ability to be able to do what you love, travel, speak, do this everywhere, and be able to, like I said, make money from anywhere. It's important. It's important, and experiences equal happiness, and you're doing just that.
Thank you so much for having me on. And I hope all of the viewers have been able to benefit. And if you need any additional support, I am here and I love to connect. So connect with me.
Alicia, thank you so much.
All right. You're
Awesome.
welcome.